Alright guys, sequence peak detector. So I guess this is where we figure out whatever a peak is, I guess the highest part of a signal or something. Oh, okay, yeah. So we get a sequence that ends with a 0, bleep, 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 boom. And then there's a minimum and a maximum in the sequence. So here we have a 14 and then a 73 as our minimum and our maximum. So each of these sequences has a min and a max. Obviously the last one, both of them are 76. So that sounds like fun. Yeah, let's try that. So handy dandy F1. So here's our output, and here's our for minimum, and here's our output for the maximum. So move up, right, I suppose, and then move no, let's move ACC right, then move ACC down, move left down. Now we have move up to ACC. Okay, so we have our first piece of sequence. Now we need to save oh, but I can't well, what I could do is I could just use this. So if I'm looking for the minimum, I need to I probably can use the backups, I think. So instead of moving up ACC, let's see if we can subtract. Okay, so ACC, we're going to keep that as our maximum. So we're going to assume, well, for the I, it's going to be a minimum. So if we subtract, and then we get something less than 0, JLZ, right, then it's going to be yeah. Newman, we'll call it. Can we add back to our ACC. Okay, so what I'm doing is I don't know how to store. I don't think I can just use the backup to do like operations on. I think I have to specifically save it, like transfer it to ACC. So what I'm doing is I'm having these guys move their ACCs down twice. So I can decide to, so the first time I just compare it, and then the second time I can either discard it or I can decide to save it. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to say I wonder if I can move up, move. Okay. So I think save, you don't type anything else, you just kind of do that. Loop. Okay, so JMP loop. Sub up. So if we didn't have it saved, then we need to swap, I suppose. Swap and save. So basically what that should do is if it's not our minimum, then it will move up and then save it again. So there's 2 copies of it again. Okay. So, but we need to jump. Oh man. We need to move it 3 times, don't we? Because we need to check if it's 0, and I don't know how else to check to see if it's 0. Right? So, oh man, this is crazy. So, I don't know if there's a way, like, since I want to subtract the incoming number from ACC, I'm not going to be able to tell really easily if it's 0 or not before I even do that. So it seems like I have to check if it's 0 first. Obviously 0 is going to be the minimum if it's positive numbers only, unless there's negatives. So, but we can't work that same logic with the positive, so we might as well make the logic pretty much the same on both of them. So I don't even know how we do this. Jump. Yeah. We pretty much have to save everything to ACC. And then swap save. This is crazy. This is crazy. Okay. Move move up ACC, and then I gotta check to see if it's 0, JEZ. If it is, we reset, and move 0 ACC, save. Yeah. Nope, that's not right. Oh, this is tricky. Okay, let's do swap and then move ACC down. Move up, down. This is not going to work. Is that gonna work? So I get 14. It's not a reset. If ACC is greater than 0, JGZ. Right, because we don't want to jump down and say it's a new min if it's negative. We want to do that if it's positive. Can we get 14? What? Man. Okay. This is nuts. All right. How about we use this one to keep track of the smallest number so far? Because I don't know if I have enough code space in here to do it. So basically the way this can work is we can just move up. We can move up to left. Okay, and this thing will just be this counter for, or this, a subtractor for us. Right? So basically, let me just erase all this. So we just loop until we find a 0. But then this thing needs reset. But that means it will have to know if when it sees a 0 is a problem. Whatever our counter, our minimum finder is, it needs a way to be reset with zeros. That's the problem. We can't just expect this to find the smallest one so far, because that's exactly what this one was doing. But we can expect this one to save whatever one was smallest so far, because this one will just return no, because then it requires looping. Okay. Well, let's just assume that we're starting at a 0. So that means we'd move right to ACC, and then we'd save. Okay. If it's 0, we move up to ACC and then we save. So we have 2 copies of it. Then we subtract. I don't even know how I do this. This is crazy. I don't even know how to explain what I'm thinking. So I know that I probably should check if it's 0 first. So that means I'm moving up to ACC. Problem with 0 terminated lists is that you can have another 0. Move up to ACC. If it's 0, we can say okay, and then we do swap save to basically find our ACC again. We subtract up from ACC. If it's 0, or if it's positive, then we move down. No, then we save. This is just too much. It's just too much. It requires too much code for one box, and I don't know how to split it all up. You know what I could do is I could just have this do the subtractions, and it doesn't keep track of the list. It just kind of does subtractions for me. And the reason why I'm thinking, well, or it could just keep track of the minimum. This is really confusing. Okay, so What if I do this? So this one doesn't even need to give anything to it. This one just checks. So now there's two things working together that both can get the same value at the same time. So if this one man, this is tricky. This is crazy. And this could be a provider. So if I wanted to do something with two things, I could pass down here, which then would pass left and right, and these would pass down their knowledge. So these two could provide to these two, which then would provide the computations needed. Right. Okay, so basically a number comes in here, it goes boom, 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 boom. Okay, because we can't deal with this one, so we have to somehow squeeze everything in here. I'm trying to think if I can have one of these modules, the way it works, is it... I'm not sure. This is tricky. I don't know how you guys would do this one, but this is tricky. Wow. Well, see here. I think as long as I'm outputting the minimum so far, this thing can detect whether there's a 0. This thing will still have to detect whenever there's a 0 to reset them in, but it doesn't need the logic to decide when to send it. It can just send it all the time. Maybe that's enough to reduce some code. So I can basically always just say move, you know, ACC down or whatever. Okay, so yeah, I can say jump of 0, reset. Right? So if it's not 0, we subtract.
Hey Tim, you want to go to the beach with us?
We are back. And I don't know what I'm doing. All right. Guys, trying to think here. making a finite state machine. So it's kind of, if you really think about it, the algorithms that I'm programming these things to do, they cannot really be that complicated, because you can't really store a lot of memory, essentially. You don't have the option of just storing things forever and ever. You really only have basically 1 to 2 memory spots per thing, plus sharing between them. So maybe 3, 4 memory spots average. It's not a lot. And then you only have so much you can fit for the code. I don't know how you can fit all the loops to figure out what the minimum value for something is. I haven't figured out, how to find a max or a min for an entire list. I don't know if I've done that yet. I mean, have I? Have I even done that? Signal comparator, sequence generator, sequence counter, simple sandbox, signal pattern. I think this is the first time where I have to find the max or the min of something. I mean, here's the sum in the length, right? But neither of those are the max or the min. See, is 0 a swap? Right? I send 3 of them down. Yep. But I just add. I add, and I see if it's 0. If it is, then I swap. But even just adding them up or finding the length, I only have like 3 commands left. But finding the max or the min is like really complicated, because I can't just add it to my total. I can't just add 1. I can't just do one of those. I have to actually subtract from what I've got stored, and then save that if it's lower or bigger. And I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to do that. Okay. Move up to ACC, move ACC down, left, right. Move ACC, left, right. So how do you get the max? How do you even do that? What if I designed this module so that the way it works is this thing could communicate with it, and what all this does is subtract and like give me back the lower of like 2 like values or something like that. So basically you reset it. You basically just give it 2 values and it gives you the smaller one. So then all this one would have to do is essentially manage what values to give it. I think that might work. It might work. I'm not sure. So I would store it in ACC, and then I would move it left, right? If it's not a 0, this is going to move right into ACC, and then it's going to save. And then oh man, I have no idea. I don't even think that's possible. I guess I could use this as just a memory storage. So this one would take whatever comes here, subtract it, right? And then push it up here. Then it would sub, right? Okay. No, then it would save right. Oh. Okay, so this can act as a stack. Or a queue. So what I could do is I could push something on to it, and it gets saved to ACC. No, it'll be a stack. So then I can push something else, and then this one can pull it off. So it can take the first number. First number gets stored here, and it gets stored up here into ACC up here. Then it takes the second number, pushes it up, and then it pulls it right back down. Like that. Okay, and then it needs to pull it twice. So this is a stack that gives you the last number twice, and then it gives you the original number again. Okay. And so what that's going to do is that's going to allow me, it's going to give me the space to kind of mess with things here to subtract them. So now I'm subtracting up, and then depending on what I get, I'm going to move the smaller one back to the right. So I'm going to move right ACC, move ACC up, move right up, subtract up, and now if the second number is smaller, so I'm looking for the smaller number here, then it's going to be negative. So let's go ahead and do the negative case. So if ACC is less than 0, so JLZ. Okay. Okay. So if it's less, then I'm going to push then I'm going to save that. Well, is that how it's going to work? Is it just compares two of them? Move right, ACC, ACC up, move right up, sub up, jump if less than 0 to less. If it's less, then I want to do that. If it's not, move up, and then I don't know what else. Honestly, I don't even know what to do. Can you delete oh, if you put explanation point, it's a break command. Here we go, nil. See, So I can move up nil, and then I can move right ACC, move ACC up, move right up. Okay. So now I'm sub up, and then what it gives me is 2 orders. So it gives me the first one, and then, or the last one, and then the first one. Right? I'll have to think about this, guys. I'm actually back again a third time to try to think about how to solve this. So I think last time I was propagating some information this way, and then this module was trying to use this module to keep track of like the last 2, I suppose. I honestly don't know how that would work so well, but I did think of something just now. I'm filling up a water bottle. So, water's good. So what I'm thinking is I don't actually have to use this module to send this module its info. I could do what I was doing before and just move ACC left, right? And instead of this thing treating like everything like pairs, basically what it can do is it can just send a 1 or 0 telling this module whether, like, I guess it's bigger or smaller than the one before, or something like that, possibly. Or, I got an idea. This one could keep track of the minimum. See, because the thing that I gotta simplify is it's really hard for whatever. It takes up a lot more code to try to move something to ACC and then to backup or somewhere else for something to both keep track of the minimum and to do the subtracting. But the thing is, I'm thinking is this thing can do the subtracting up here, and then this thing down here can basically just propose to it, hey, is this one smaller? It can just tell it what it has, and it doesn't even need to look. It doesn't need to subtract. It doesn't even need to look at the new number unless this one says yes, right? And if this one says yes, it's not sending it necessarily a yes. It's just saying it a new number, right? So but here's the thing. This thing, once it gets a 0, it should know that it needs to send this one the number that comes after. So this should have a jump in it that says, okay, well, when I see a 0 here, you know, sent to me, then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lie to this and say, oh, I have a new minimum. And so it's just going to update the minimum here. So this isn't going to keep track of the minimum. It's just going to subtract and see what the minimum was. And if it was smaller, it already just got it from here, so it's just going to receive another one again and send it down. This thing will keep track of whatever the minimum is and keep proposing to this one, asking it whether it's the minimum. The only problem I have with this is that I can't replicate this on this side because we have a failed module here, so we don't have like the 4 kind of modules in a circle. So this one, it looks like everything can send to it but nothing out or something, I don't know. It just doesn't work. So we can't replicate it on the other side. But that might be okay because this, not sure. I am not sure. We'll just try to get something to work on this side, and then if we have to, we'll try to extra hard to get something to work on this other side. But we just have to get something to work first. I haven't even figured out, even given all these modules, how to get something to work. So I'm gonna move it left, and then what this thing's gonna do is it's gonna take whatever's from here and it's gonna accept it, and then it's gonna subtract right? So, okay, so it's going to move down to ACC. It's going to subtract right. Okay, and then based on whether it's less, JLZ less, right? So if it's less than 0, we jump, right? So, let's think about this for a second. Let's think about this for a second. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to send it whatever one. So this is going to try to attempt to send it twice, and this is going to try to attempt to send it twice. And based on whether it's less or not, it's going to send it down. But the problem is that that doesn't tell me when it's 0. But that might not matter. Because the thing is, this thing can keep track of when it's 0 and just ignore whatever this says, except that this thing won't update unless it knows whatever's holding the minimum has to be the at least be notified and has to check when it's actually 0, because otherwise it won't really necessarily update, or it'll actually update to a 0 and it'll just, that's bad. You don't want the minimum just to sit there at 0. But if this thing is just a comparer, then it doesn't matter, it's fine. So yeah, move ACC left, move ACC left if it's less. So we subtracted right. If it's less, then we move right down, and then we move down nil. But if it is less, no, that's if it is left, it's less. So move right down, move down nil, and then we reverse it if it's not. So if it's move right nil, move down down. Right, so all it's going to do is just compare what it sees here with what it sees here. And I think that's it. So this should start off assuming that it's been 0 terminated, I suppose, right? Either that or this one should know. And have a loop. Right. So we don't want to store it per se. But we want to take it, move right up. Let's see here. Right. Now, if this one gives it a minimum that's 0, then right, okay, so, and then move up ACC. And here we check, so we don't have to do any subtracting. And we just have to check, I guess, if it's, we have to jump to loop. So jump if 0. No. If this one, okay, if this one has a 0, that means the second one is a 0. So if we got one here, and it calculated that the min was 0, that's not good. So this one almost needs to just save a backup just to check if the freaking ACC is 0. Okay, so oh my goodness. Okay, so if we have a sequence, let's just save whatever our ACC was. Move up ACC, right? So I saved it. So as long as it's greater than 0, we just loop, I guess. Right? As long as it's greater than 0. So JGZ loop. Otherwise, we swap, right? Because we saved our set. We saved it. So we know it's 0. Right? Or I should say not equal to 0. So JNZ. Because we don't know if we're going to use negatives in the future. If it is 0, then that means we swap it back. We move ACC right, because that's our final answer. And then we're done. And then it'll loop back here where we move right to ACC. Oh, that should work. Move up ACC, move ACC left, move ACC left. Right? Okay. It saves it. It moves up to ACC. So it's seeing the lowest one. Now this one, that means this one needs to loop before it sends it. Okay, so I'm gonna F1 here. If it's 0, JEZ. Okay. How's that? Okay, so we send the 14. Let's just, I want to see if this works. We send the 14, move ACC down. ACC goes down. It doesn't finish, so it moves it left twice. Now this one moves it up twice. This one's going to compare it. Uh-oh. Hold on. Let's rerun that thing. Hold on. So there's a problem here. There is a problem here. I shouldn't be sending as the first number here to the left. Right? Move up ACC. So if it's jump if equal to 0, skip, I guess. So in this case, I'll send it down. Right? Okay, we'll stop. Okay. So hold on. ACC starts off at 0. So actually what I want to do is to move up ACC. So it starts off by skipping. There we go. Okay, so the first one we don't want to send to the left. Oops. Move up ACC, and then move ACC down. Yeah, I think that's... Okay, so we send 14 down. We don't want to skip it. But it looks like we're sending it left. Wait a minute. Hold on, something's not right here. I'm so confused for some reason. Okay. We get a new one down. If our last one was a 0. If we have the last one was a 0, then we don't want to send the new one to the left. So it's fine to send the 0 to the left. So I should actually start with moving the ACC left. Right? I should start with that. But when I get the new one, there's going to be two options for how I handle it. So I kind of need... Okay, so... JZ. This is going to be confusing, but... So I think the way I need to do it is I'm going to have a loop up here, and then I have jump loop, but I'm also going to have a skip next. And in this case, I move up, I just move up to down. Right? Because when it's a 0, I want to send the 0 to the left. Okay, I'm gonna delete this. Okay. Jump loop. Okay, so it basically just skips this. Okay. So it's gonna it should move the 14 down. Perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. Then it takes the 0 and sends it. Which is not right. I want it to send the 73. Jump start. Yeah. Sends a 14 down, and then it stores. I think the start will go there. So we'll try that. Okay. 14 down, 73 comes in, gets stored, tries to send it down, and sends it left twice. Cool. So basically, okay, this is getting really confusing. Okay, so it sent the 14, and now it's sending the 73. This is trying to send the 14 here. 14's going up. Jump loop. Now it's sending the 73. It's less, so it moves the right down. So it sends the 73. But the eye is supposed to find the minimum one. So I'm just going to swap that out really quick. I think greater than 0. Yeah. So it should be sending so this one sends a 14 up. Sends a 73 in. What? Sends a 14 up twice. And it tries to send the 73. Which it shouldn't be trying to compare the 73. It should be moving ACC up, not right up. There we go. Okay, yeah, because the ACC is keeping track of the smallest one, so it sends a 14 up. Okay. Subtract right, move ACC down. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna take a break really quick. I'll be right back, guys. This is just crazy. This is getting super complicated. Okay, so somehow, some way, this thing has gotten stuck. It's trying to send a 14 up for the second time. But this thing is trying to subtract this right one. But this right one was moving an ACC down. And this one's trying to move its ACC left. So we gotta make sure that things are matched up here, because what's gonna happen is this one's gonna expect something from here, which is fine. I guess it can just wait, you know, on this one, because, but then again, it can't, because this one's waiting on this one. See, the problem is that this one's only going to send stuff down if there's a 0, right? So there's like a dependency issue. The protocol kind of changes, you know, based on whether there was a 0 or not. So how does this work? If this one gets a 0, jump if equal to 0, finish. Move left, down, right? So if this one grabs a 0, it'll be like, okay, boom. And instead of sending something here, it'll take. So this one, okay, so this one, move right ACC, moves up. Bam, it sends it down. So there's like this weird thing where this one knows that when this one gets a 0, it needs to send something. This one knows that when it gets a 0, it needs to get something from here and send it down. This one, though, basically when it gets a 0, at first it doesn't even send it. Actually, wait, I'm supposed to send the 0 left, right? Skip next. Jump if equal to 0. Skip next. Move up, down. Move ACC left. Right? Move ACC left. Phew, this is getting confusing. Okay. Jump if equal to 0. Skip next. Okay. Move up, down. So sending the 14 down. But remember, this one doesn't get the 14. Jump, start. Okay, it doesn't send the 14 left, because it's not supposed to send the first one in the sequence. Right? Which means that this one needs to know that too, in some sense. So, move up ACC. Move ACC left. ACC down. So now this one's got it saved. It's gonna send it down. Why is this one sending it down? Oh, this one's sending a 14. Uh-oh. Hold on. No wonder why there's a mismatch. This one's sending it twice left, and this one used to say move right. Up. Because, remember, it's saving... Hold on a second. I was wrong. Why? I don't get why I was doing that. No, this is supposed to be right up, because it's not supposed to overwrite ACC until a new sequence. So whatever I had before, that was the right thing. Right? So there's a 14. It saves it because it's the first part of the sequence, which is it's supposed to do. And then it... Oh. I get it now. I get it now. it shouldn't expect to see it twice. Right. Okay. So it moves right up twice when it normally. Okay, we're going to do move ACC up. That way it still sends the one that it sees up. Now if it's the second one, it's going to loop, and we want it to move right up twice. This is getting weird. Move up to ACC. And then we should say move right and then up again. Right? I got an idea. Let's call this one skip. So jump, skip. So basically what happens here is if it's the first part of the sequence, it's going to skip this first move right up. And then it's going to just do its loop. So it sends a 14, jump, skip. Sends another 14 up like it's supposed to. Move up to ACC. Now this one's got a 73. Jump loop. This one sends a 73 left twice it's supposed to. This one checks. Sends down the 14. 14's less. This one saves a 14. Boom. Saves a 14. Move right up. Oh, something's wrong here. I get it now. Okay, so my original plan was wrong because I was thinking that this is supposed to now compare everything that comes through here with everything that comes through here, but that doesn't make any sense. It's supposed to basically get it's basically supposed to get the first part of the sequence here, stored in here, and then after that, it needs to not be getting things. So this should not actually be sending things left. So yeah, that was wrong. What it should be doing is, okay, so the first number comes through, it gets sent to here. This skips sending it over here, and then it sends the rest of them over here. This only sends the first number here, and this then this compares, and it just keeps track of the minimum. Okay, so the functionality that I was trying to make it do, where it keeps taking things from here and sending it up is wrong. I'm not supposed to do that. I actually am supposed to be sending ACC. That's why I changed these to from right up to ACC up, because in a way that was right, but it didn't actually fix it because, yeah. Okay. Yep. Move up, ACC, finish, move left, down. Yep. So jump loop. Yep. Yep. So this thing will know when there's a 0, and it will send things down. So this doesn't even need to worry. If it sees a 0, it doesn't even need to send it. It just needs to, it doesn't even need to worry. So what I should do is I should just say move I don't even know what I'm supposed to do. So move up ACC. Move up ACC, move ACC left. Okay, I'm going to delete both of these, move ACC lefts. Okay, so move, it takes from here, puts it here. Takes from here, boom, puts it here. Then it starts its loop where it just take from here, puts it here, checks to see if it's 0. If it is, boom, waits on this one to move down. If it's not, now it just keeps collecting, and that's all it does. It doesn't send anything here. This thing will compare with this one, and this thing will just keep feeding it the minimum. So it's going to start off up here. It's going to say move right to ACC. Boom, that's the first one. Move ACC up. Boom, that's the first one. It doesn't even need that. So we don't need skip. Okay. We don't need that. We just move ACC up, move ACC up. It compares, it updates to ACC. Finally, when we get a 0, boom, we move it right and it goes down. Okay, so we send a 14 down, send a 14 left, send a 14 up. We take 73, moving 73 down, which is fine, as long as we send it left twice. 73 left, 73 left. Perfect. This one should send a 14 down. Boom. Saves this 14. Boom. Moves up ACC. So it saves 14 as the new one. Checks to see if it's 0. Okay, it's not 0. It restarts. Sends the minimum again. Boom. 14 up. Perfect. This one sends 58 left. Okay. Each one seems like it's doing what it's supposed to do. Now this one saw a 0. Okay, so it's apparently doing the right thing. This one's looking at the 0. Okay, it's seeing the 14. Boom, it's sending a 0 down. Okay. Move up, down. Okay, hold on. That's not good. Ah, I know why. We need to change this ordering. We should always call down. We should always call the nil ones first. So move down, nil, because it's deadlocking with itself. See, if you wait for this one, move right down. Okay, so if this one, if this is trying to move something down and this one's trying to move something up, I think they just lock each other. So obviously this one just wants to delete this one. It's trying to send it up, which is that'll do that. Okay, so let's go through. Sends a 14 down. 14, 58. Compares it. Sends a 0. Sends the 0 down. Okay. 0 got sent. It swaps. We got the 14. Move ACC right. We got the 14 being sent right. Move left down. Move top down. Bam, son. Bam. 11, 50, 18, 20, 11, 50, 24. That is beautiful. Oh, man. And that's only the minimum. Look at that. Watch it. Watch. Look how beautiful that is. Bam, 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 bam. I've been working on this so long that when it finally works, I'm like, finally. Oh, man. You gotta be kidding me. This is so ridiculous. Okay. So, how do we do this without this module? This is so ridiculous. So how are we doing this? Basically what's happening is we're sending the first one here this way. We're sending the rest of them here this way. And we're comparing, this thing just compares. It doesn't keep track of the minimum. This thing keeps track of the minimum. It doesn't seem like you can compare and keep track of the minimum in the same module. I tried to do that. It's pretty much impossible. It's really hard. It's really hard to do that. So what I could do is try to use these modules somehow, some way. I don't know how. One thing I could do is I could try to use more code in this module too. By instead of moving left down, I could just, this one could just move down, and then this one could just move down. And that would free up, basically just a line of code or whatever here. And then I could try to replicate this here. Because this one has some more code. So what it could do is this one could just send whatever it wants down. So I could do move up, down, right? And this one could basically have the same code as this. Right? So, in fact, it doesn't even need the same code. see, because what I could do is I could say move ACC right. Right? And then here, this thing would just, you know, move left ACC. So this thing would get initialized and it could keep track of the maximum value. I could say move, let's see, move ACC up, move ACC up, save, move. I'm copying this over here really quick. Move up ACC, and this is gonna keep track of the max. So jump not 0. So it's gonna, I guess this will also be a 0 detector. Loop, swap, and move ACC. This time is gonna be down. It's not gonna be right for this one to go down. It's just gonna go down. So this is gonna say move up, down, the end. This one could even just say move down, and this one would say move left, down. So I wouldn't even need, I could just take finish and put it at the start. Okay. So that should work as long as somehow this can like replicate this, which I think it can because this is not too much code, but I might need a couple extra lines here because see how I'm moving 2 left? I think all I have to do is just move 2 right. Right? So I can say move ACC right, move ACC right. Okay, so now this should do the job of just sending, you know, not just left, but to the right too, which should be fine. So then I guess replicate the code here, and hopefully that works. Move down ACC. Okay, so this is going to copy that. Sub right. Okay, now this one says jump greater than 0 less. This is going to be the opposite. Jump less than 0, I guess. It doesn't really matter if I do less than or equal or whatever, I think, because you're just finding the max or the min. So if 2 numbers are equal, I mean, it basically doesn't matter what you do at that point. Okay, so this one says move right to nil. I'm going to say move left to nil. And then it move down to down. Okay, and then for less, so when this one sends it up, it's going to send it down or whatever. And then remember, we want to send it nil first, so move down to nil. And then move left to down. So this is going to decide which one's going to be the max, send it down. This is going to swap when it gets 0. Let's just see if it works. So if this sends a 73 down, we should be good. Okay, so this one, I did this wrong. I said subtract right, I should say subtract left. Oh. Move ACC right, move left down, move ACC up. This one's something's not adding up here. Jump loop. Oh, I forgot to do jump loop here. There we go. Now these two modules essentially look mirrored. Okay, we want that 73 sent down. So sub left. What's going on here? Move ACC right. Move ACC up. So there's a 73 waiting. Move ACC down. What? Hold on a second. How is that even possible? Jump loop. Move ACC left, 73. Move ACC left. Oh, I think I know why. See, this thing is doing its job. Move down nil, good, it erases it, and then moves the 73 down. This one moves ACC there. Okay, so we did the correct thing with the 73. Move ACC up. Okay, it's sending the ACC up like it's supposed to. Jump loop. This one's supposed to send ACC left twice. Good. This thing accepted it twice. Now this one sends 58 twice. So this thing should be doing its job. Okay. It's not less than 0, so now it's just erasing the 58. And it's saying, you know what, give me back this, give you back the 73. Okay, that's what it's supposed to do. This one saves it. Moves up ACC, it checks if it's 0, and then sends it back up again. This one's supposed to tell it when it's 0. So this one's moving a 0 left. Boom. Now it's got to move it right. Okay. Oh, I know why. Okay, so see, this one doesn't detect zeros now. This one, oh my goodness. Okay, since this one doesn't need to keep track of the minimum, I can actually use it more easily. So since this one just compares 2 at a time, like whatever it's fed, it doesn't need to keep state, which is really, really, really important right now. Okay, so this one, so the reason why this isn't working as a mirror image of this is because whenever this one gets a 0, 0 is less than the other things. But here, 0, since we're looking for the max, and 0 is still less, then it's bad, because we're not going to detect we're not going to find that there's a 0. So we explicitly have to test for a 0. And send that down if there is. So basically, if we find a 0, even though it's less than, we still need to send it down. So we sort of need to swap, well, if we want to save code, we would want to move left to ACC. Okay, and then we sub down. Okay, and then we could change this to jump greater than 0. Because we're swapping it the other way around. But if, right? Jump if equal to 0, less. Oh, that's genius. So I think that'll work. Okay, so if it's equal to 0, boom, we do this. Or if we subtract this one and it's greater than 0, then we do the other one. Okay, so that's crazy. Uh-oh. Sub down. Oh, crap. Okay. Move down, nil twice. Let's try that. Oh my goodness. Okay, you guys see what I did there? So I had to put another label because since we're not subtracting the down, we need to still get rid of the one that it's sending up. I think I did it. I think I did it. Oh! Oh my goodness! That episode was so insane. Look at this. Look how crazy this is. This is nuts. Who comes up with this torture? You guys, we did it. I did it. You watched me do it. Whatever. That was crazy. I can't believe this works. I can't believe it took this much code and this like much effort. This is crazy. Look how ridiculous this is. This is so crazy. That is so cool. That is just so cool. The fact that I made, look at this thing. Just look at it run. It's just like bloop, 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 bloop. It's like crazy that it does that. That's just nuts. Look at that. It's beautiful. It's only beautiful because I worked my butt off just to get, you know, the kinks out. But now that it works, it's just like it just flows, you know what I mean? It's like writing an OCaml or a Haskell program that works. It's just like it works, you know. Oh man. I guess people who write code in like C or whatever, they write test cases. So once their code works, it quote unquote, you know, is good. But I guess to do that you need test cases. But I prefer proof systems. Man, that is crazy. Alright guys, thanks for watching. That was... Man. Alright, I'll see you guys later. Bye.